Hey there, and welcome into another exciting episode of A for Effort. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we start off giving thanks to our unofficial sponsor of the podcast, AMC A-List. $19.95 a month gets you 3 movies a week at local AMC theaters in your area. Check AMC.com for theater listings and offer availability. But on today's episode, you do not need to leave the comfort of your own home because we are watching the Netflix original movie, Rim of the World. I will admit, when this one came out on Memorial Day weekend, I was kind of hesitant to watch it, but then Kevin Smith had Zach Stentz, the writer of the movie, on his podcast, Fat Man Beyond, and it got me intrigued. It got me interested in watching it and seeing what it was all about. And I'm happy that I did watch it because it's pretty good, and I enjoyed it. It's your typical Goonies, E.T., like 90s style alien invasion where the kids have to save the world. I get where Netflix was in making this because it's where we are right now. I know Stranger Things has kind of brought that back, and I know that Ghostbusters is going that route in 2020. So I understand the concept behind bringing this style of film back in Rim of the World, but it fell a little short to me just in general. Like, the CG wasn't very good. It's almost like Netflix couldn't put together enough money to produce such a high quality film. You know, the concept behind it's really smart with these kids. They're out at summer camp and they meet each other at summer camp. They become fast friends, and then, you know, the end of the world happens. So, but the thing is like the CG on the aliens aren't great, and the alien design is pretty good, but the CG on it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. There was like 8 production companies in front of this movie, so you can tell like it took a little bit to get funding just to do the movie in general. I love the cast of kids. The 4 kids were great. I really had a fun time watching it. There were some good comedic moments with the kids and everything like that, but again, it's hard to watch a movie of this nature and not feel like if it were a theatrical released movie that it would be a little better because there'd be a little bit more production value put into it. I know Netflix is willing to put a lot of money into their movies, but this just felt like it was missing something. And I don't know what exactly it was missing, but it definitely was not to the level I expect from a theatrical release movie, or even some of the other Netflix movies. You know, I Am Mother, which I recently watched and reviewed, had some great production value, and I get it because it's more of a bottle movie and there's less locations to film on, so you can kind of focus more on the CG of the robots and Mother and how she looks. But this, there's a lot of locations, you know, a lot of outdoor shooting, a lot of like on-site shots, so you can't really focus on the CG as much, but I wish they would have spent more time with that. Like I said, the plot's super simple, very 90s-esque, with the kids trying to save the world. Astronaut lands on Earth, hands one kid the key and says, take this to JPL, and they'll know what to do with it. And so the kids set off on an adventure together to try to get this key over to JPL. You know, hijinks ensue, and they encounter the aliens. They encounter a criminal that comes back towards the end of the movie. And again, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not the best Netflix movie I've watched this week. I definitely have watched my share of Netflix movies this week, and I Am Mother kind of takes the high bar for this week. Got a chance to sit down and actually enjoy some of these movies that came out over the last month and a half, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoyed Rim of the World, but it's not the best one of the week, and for that it gets an A for effort. Netflix is doing big things, keep putting out movies and TV shows and everything, and I want them to keep doing this, but I also want them to do it with quality, and I don't want it to be shortchanged because they just want to keep producing more and more and more and more. You know, I want them to invest in these movies and actually make them good for what they are, and this movie had potential, and it just fell short for me because Netflix kind of didn't give it the love it deserves. So again, A for effort. I have been your host, Matt. Like, subscribe, share, and comment on all the YouTube videos. Find us on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Check out the weekly podcast, The Geekly Effort, where me and my group of friends discuss all things nerdy. You can find that on Apple, Google, and Spotify as well. 5-star reviews on both A for Effort and The Geekly Effort are much appreciated. One more time, I have been your host, Matt. Come back to us next time on another exciting episode of A for Effort, and we will have another quality movie review.